Morning. It's Wednesday, April 10th. And I have to tell you that I was wrong the other day when I predicted how many people would be watching the eclipse without glasses. I watched 30 or 40 pictures this morning of all of the different places that people were crowded to watch the event, to watch the eclipse. And there was only one person in all of those pictures that was not wearing glasses. So I was wrong about the stupidity of American people and how many of them would watch this event without glasses. I didn't see that. And I'm glad I didn't see that, because that has changed my opinion slightly about the intelligence of the American people. Now, I was watching people from all over the world. I saw the groups of people in Mexico who were watching the event, and they all had their glasses on. And then I saw people in small towns that had populations of under 1,000. In fact, in one place they had a population of like 120 people. And those towns were crowded with visitors who came to those locations to get a good view of the eclipse. So this eclipse turned out to be a much more major event than I even imagined. All over the world, people were watching this event. And they were watching from so many different places, from the beaches and from the auditoriums and from the ballparks. There were several stadiums that were opened up so that people could go in and sit and watch the eclipse. We haven't had such a great event in a long, long time. And this is a peaceful event. And I was able to see the full eclipse because I was watching it on my computer. And I tuned in to Indianapolis, where they had a total eclipse. So I was able to see that on my laptop. And it was beautiful. I saw no reports of any misbehavior on the part of these spectators. And it was wonderful to see the faces of the little kids with their glasses looking up at this eclipse. And the parents standing proudly by them. Children, 6, 7, 10 years old, enjoying themselves, out for the day with their parents and their friends. They were on beaches. They were in stadiums. They were every place that you could gather and enjoy yourself and watch. It was a marvelous, marvelous photographs from all over the places that allowed people to watch this event. Now, if we can do this for a major event like this, why can't we get the same kind of enthusiasm with respect to our daily lives and to the important things that have to be done for the United States and the rest of the world? So I'm not going to talk anymore about the eclipse. Let's talk about something else. That something else is the Israeli troop withdrawal from Gaza, which was announced on Sunday, and it was greeted with widespread surprise. Even though the Israeli army and the government have been painfully announcing that it has no great significance. And I don't see that necessarily. But perhaps they're bending a little bit toward Biden's involvement in this entire situation. The world has watched the intensity of the Israeli bombardment. And now that they just leave one brigade behind seems to change the direction that Israel is taking toward this war. And I am sure we won't know what that is for a while yet. But maybe this is the way to get the hostages released. And maybe it's a way to show the world that Israelis are not the monsters that many believe they are because of the killing of all so-called innocent people in their recent attacks on Gaza. I don't know that this means anything, but the day of this announcement is the day that signifies 6 months since Hamas attacked Israel. I don't know if that means anything. No one is quite sure why this withdrawal is taking place. Some believe that this is a signal to Hamas that Israel is serious about talking about releasing the hostages. Others believe that Biden put pressure on Netanyahu to do this, and that's why it's happening. So there's much confusion about why Israel has stepped away from the plate, so to speak. But I assure you that it's not one single item. It is probably a combination of different events. Some part of it due to Biden's talk, some part of it to the belief that if they step away now, the hostages will be released. Some believe that it's taking a time out to take a deep breath and reconfigure its strategies for the war going forward. But in any event, there is a ceasefire. And let us hope that it leads to some kind of peaceful solution with all the hostages released, and without having to give Hamas any of the prisoners that Israel holds in their jail. That would be perfect as far as I'm concerned. And let's also recognize the fact that this troop reduction, this troop reduction in that part of Gaza will allow for humanitarian aid to come to the people of Gaza. It'll allow those food trucks to come in and all of the other supplies that have been withheld during the Israeli occupation. So maybe this is a step in the right direction. I am not sure. Only time will tell whether or not Israel made the right move, whether or not the badgering by Biden worked out to Israel's advantage, whether or not those who criticize this particular action, because there are many that did not like the fact that Israel withdrew, and maybe they'll be on the correct side of this equation. But meanwhile, the fighting has stopped, and let us hope that it leads to a good solution. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.